Hi there, it's Felicia from Geeks Out. I'd love to chat about something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, which is these issues around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how we want to be thinking about them and how we are thinking and talking about them in this new reality, in this new age of coronavirus that we find ourselves living through. And what I've seen is that there's a really interesting shift in a lot of the partners and companies and clients that we've been chatting with and talking with and working with, where some companies are really doubling down and putting DEI as a focus and highlighting it and working on it more than ever in these times. And other companies, and I'm not saying this is good or bad, but other companies are placing less of an emphasis on it, where they're really putting it to the side and looking at it as more of a nice to have as opposed to an essential part of the business. Now, I'm not saying that there's any one right or wrong way to be acting in this new reality, and certainly as a business owner, a small business owner myself, I know that it's really hard and there are some tough decisions that we all are faced with and have to make in these weird times. But I want to talk a little bit about why focusing on diversity, equity, inclusion is more important than ever. Because first of all, these issues that we're addressing with this work are not going to go away. They're actually only going to become more highlighted and more intense in this new working world. For example, when we're talking about interactions with each other, those interactions, whether they are in person or shift to virtual, are still going to be highlighted. And as anyone who's ever been attacked by a troll on Twitter or had someone post a mean Facebook comment on a post that you don't know, it's really easy to hide behind a physical screen and say terrible things or act in different ways than you might if you were faced with somebody right in front of you. Also, in this new reality, we're faced with these issues, these systemic structural inequities that are being highlighted to us. For example, this whole dialogue around who is considered essential and how that translates back to things like education, class, race. Who are the people who are out there on the front lines, the janitors who are not receiving certain care and equipment, but are out there doing work that a lot of us who are more privileged are removing ourselves from. And so these issues and these understandings and learnings about these deep-seated structural systemic issues that our society is built on are actually finally coming to light in this age, and that is going to translate into the reality that we cannot go back to the way we were working or living or thinking before. And so that leads me to my final thought and my final point in thinking about these issues is that we have a real opportunity in front of us to move forward and, like I just said, not go back to the way we were and just look at this as a brief blip in time where a lot of us were staying home and watching Netflix and eating a lot of junk food. But really, this could be a real chance for us to make and implement real change. So do we go forward and just go back to the ways that we're used to working? Or do we look at this as an opportunity where we can build in policies, we can create practices that will actually lift us up and highlight diversity, equity, and inclusion from the ground up and from the core within, as opposed to tacking it on as a nice to have. So these are just some thoughts that have been kicking around my head. I'm going to be exploring this a little bit further as I continue to dig into this line of thinking and explore it a bit more myself and with my colleagues as well. But I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts, and if you've been thinking about DEI in this new working world reality, or if it's sort of been pushed to the side. What's going on with you and your companies? What's happening? What are the discussions like? I'd love to hear from you. Also, are there any questions that are going on? I'm happy to help answer that and explore that further. So thanks so much, and talk to you all soon.